28 Years Later is once again directed by Danny Boyle, the great director of Trainspotting, Slumdog Millionaire, the original 28 Days Later, which honestly, I've said in the past, it's not my favorite zombie movie, but it's still rock solid. I like the grungy feel of it. And for some reason, this is a lot of people's most anticipated movie of 2025. How? Over Superman? Fantastic Four? Wicked 2? Like, all this stuff? Avatar 3? Like, how is this at the top? Anyway, it's been almost 3 decades since the Rage virus escaped from a biological weapons laboratory, and some have found ways to exist amid the infected. One such group of survivors lives on a small island connected to the mainland by a single heavily defended causeway, and when one of them decides to venture into the dark heart of the mainland, he soon discovers a mutation that has spread to not only the infected, but other survivors as well. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not like a lot of my colleagues on this great medium and a lot of the great friends that I've made over the past 5 years through doing YouTube. But I thought the trailer looked cool-esque and it definitely bought me into seeing it. But I wasn't chomping at the bit to watch this movie, clearly. This review is being filmed a few days after its release. But here's the deal. A lot of those people who were super hyped to see this movie have walked out disappointed. And that's putting it very mildly. And this is coming from someone who walked in with zero expectations whatsoever. But I would put myself in that camp of disappointed. 28 Years Later just might be one of the biggest fumbles of 2025. And it's not necessarily because of what the talent is doing in this. I actually think every performance across the board is rock solid. I've been praising Jodie Comer for years on this channel with her performances in Free Guy, especially in The Last Duel. I don't want to dig too deep into spoiling what exactly her character is going through. And albeit it does feel like her biggest obstacle kind of comes out of nowhere, but my god, her performance is so heart-wrenching to watch. And to coincide with that, the main character in this movie is her son, young Alfie Williams, playing a kid named Spike. This kid is the best part of this movie. Like, full tilt. His performance was so damn good. Like, I cannot wait for this kid to get more work. You also have Aaron Taylor-Johnson in here redeeming himself from the fest that was Kraven the Hunter. And again, he's proving to be a very good actor in this, a very troubled and deranged character in his own right. And speaking of deranged, oh my god, Ralph Fiennes, a freaking legend. Very small part for him. And it's almost like not the character you would expect Ralph Fiennes to be playing, an eccentric hermit, if you will. But if this movie proves nothing else, aside from Alfie Williams' potential, Jodie Comer and Aaron Taylor-Johnson as solid stalwarts in Hollywood right now, it should prove to you that Ralph Fiennes can do no wrong as a performer. And I do like some of the framing of this movie. Some of the cinematography choices I thought were really haunting to look at. And I do appreciate Danny Boyle's style in some genres. Not every genre his style works. I mean, there's cases where I'll rewatch Slumdog Millionaire, for example, and that's a phenomenal movie. But there's times where Danny Boyle's cadence as a director doesn't really fit with what Slumdog Millionaire wants to do. Which brings me to my biggest problem with 28 Years Later and why this is such a disappointment. Look, I feel like for a good chunk of this movie's a tale of two halves. And it honestly feels like, to me, this movie has zero clue what it wants to do. Like, it wants to tell one story for the first half of it, and then it pivots into a very heart-wrenching story that I feel like it should have been the entire time. And then the final 10 minutes just really shit all over your expectations. Like, I swear, there was one shot in this movie and a very moving part where I was like, if this movie ended right here, great. That is a phenomenal button on this story. But then the last 10 minutes just turn it into a goddamn cartoon. And the thing that I appreciate about the original 28 Days Later, it at least sets up rules for how these zombies operate. And they almost feel invincible, in a sense. And there's an idea of an alpha zombie, if you will, that is almost impossible to put away. That idea I really appreciate them going for. And all the zombies are meant to run, right? These zombies are meant to just be man-eating savages. And they will stop at nothing to get to you if you're a survivor. And they are in hot pursuit of you, and they are sprinting towards you. That is haunting as hell. I actually think the zombies in these movies are a lot more terrifying than The Walking Dead. Walkers are literally what they are. They walk to get to you. They are very slow, easy to put down. But even then, The Walking Dead establishes that as a rule. And 28 years later, introduces the aspect of slow-moving zombies. And it immediately takes away all the intensity that's established in the opening minutes of this movie. Which, again, is basically what you see in the trailer of all those terrified kids locked in a room watching Teletubbies. Which, again, is frightening in and of itself. The Teletubbies are fucking terrifying. Actually, that's a good would you rather. Would you rather have a zombie come and eat your brains, or would you rather just be rewatching reruns of the Teletubbies over and over? I mean, that's a coin flip question, man. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And coinciding with the movie having a full-blown identity crisis right in front of me, the editing choices really do not help. It is so quick, it is so fast-paced, you can't really see any of all the kills. They do like 360 angles of like 5 different visions of what the kill looks like. And they'll do like freeze frames. And it's like a lot of this movie isn't really appealing to look at. Like, I did not need to see naked zombie ass for like half of this movie. I really didn't. That's just me though. But the editing of this movie, like, I've seen MTV style music videos that are edited at a lot more of a contained pace than this movie was. Which I think is saying a lot. And I'm not even kidding you, there was one point in the movie that I'm pretty sure was intentional. I thought the projector behind me broke. Like, it just glitched out for a second, and then it just goes right back into movie, and I'm like, did that mean to happen? Do I need to go talk to somebody who's working here and let them know that this movie's broken? Wish I could let the writers know that the movie is broken. Because what the movie is trying to do, I'm not going to spoil what exactly the ending of this movie is, but if you've seen it, you probably know where I'm getting at. This is a setup movie for more. And for the love of God, if you thought that the slow-moving zombies turned this into a less intense version of the original, like, the final 5 minutes of this movie spit right on that. And it is full-blown cartoon at that point. It is so lame. And it's basically telling you, hey, come back for more. Like, what else can you do? Is the next movie going to be called 28 Decades Later? How far are we going to go? 28 millennia later? Oh, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. This movie was, even as someone who's going in with no expectations with it, I was very let down by this thing. The only redeeming qualities that this movie has are the stellar performances that are really throwing their everything into it. And some neat choices and some cool direction and some nice cinematography, I guess. But piss poor editing, a humongous identity crisis, and an ending that will leave you bewildered. And not in a good way. I'm going to give 28 Years Later a C-. And I know that's going to be incredibly harsh for some of you. But hey, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is one of the worst movies of the year. I know that there's going to be a lot of you who watch this video and disagree with me. Let me know down in the comments section below. As respectfully as possible, I accept hot takes only over here. And if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and tap on that thumbs up as well. Like, how are we already halfway through the year? That is an insane idea to me. Thank you guys so much again for your continued support of this content. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.